Okay. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening for this community class on how to use the OMNI IQ Network Management app. My name is Connor, and I'll be presenting today and helping to answer any questions that you might have about this free app that's included with the OMNI service. We like to think of this as a little bit of a remote control for your internet and your Wi-Fi. And there's some really handy things that you can do with it that we want to show you today, and we hope you'll find helpful. Real quick, before we get into things, I mentioned this a little bit ago, but if you have any questions or comments, please use the chat button there that looks just like this in a little toolbar on your screen. If you're on a laptop or maybe like a Microsoft Surface type of device, and you don't see this toolbar, just wiggle your mouse around or touch the trackpad with your finger, and it should pop up from the bottom or the top of the screen somewhere. And then if you're on maybe an iPad or another tablet, you should be able to tap the screen to bring that little toolbar up where you can see this chat bubble, and then you can ask me any questions, and I will do my best to answer them. All right, and I just want to talk about a couple of helpful resources here. So the first one is the support site on the DirectLink website. Now there's a large amount of support information there and some frequently asked questions that we think are helpful to help troubleshoot connectivity issues or find answers to common questions. So that is directlink.coop/support/internet. And there's other pages as well there with some different resources. The second one is our YouTube channel. We actually have a lot of support videos relating to the app that we're going to be talking about today. We have a lot of videos already up on our YouTube channel, and I've made a playlist specifically for those videos. So if you head to the YouTube channel, that's youtube.com/directlinkcoop. You should be able to see a playlist there called OMNI Support. So that should be on there. A couple more right here. We have directlink.coop/fiber. This page has some information about our fiber optic build where you can check address availability and the timeline of the build as well. And then the last one is the community classes page on our website. There you can find more information on past and future classes as they come up. And then, of course, we have 24/7 tech support should you ever need it at that phone number for Canby or the other one there for Mount Angel. We have 24/7 tech support. We want to be there for you when you need us most, if you need us. So before we get into the presentation, I want to show you just a quick video from comedian Jerry V to see if maybe this situation that he runs into has been familiar at some point in the past.
I'm a pretty calm, cool and collective guy, but... Sorry, what's your name? Yeah, Evan. Hi, Evan. Yeah, we have no internet. Nothing. I don't know. It just stopped working.
The internet is down.
I know, I'm on the phone with them. No, that was my wife.
I can't get online again.
Yeah, I'm talking to Evan.
She's
No, my daughter, my wife. Okay, can you guys not talk? Sorry. Yes, we have yes, the white boxes. I see one. They got horns on them.
It's the one with the horns.
Yes, I see one. We have 11 of those.
I was on the phone and I got disconnected.
Okay, it's not about you. We switched our broadband service provider. Like Devin put in 11, Evan. How are we supposed to know which one's 7 and which
I thought it was Devin.
Who's Devin?
I got no service. Honey, you're blocking.
You can't stand there. You're blocking it. Don't block it. And the best part, I never have to speak to Evan or Devin ever again.
I think this one's 11.
11? We're not looking for 11. No, are we looking for 7, Evan, or 11? We have 2 next to each other. That's bad. 2 white boxes. Evan? Evan?
So this is, of course, what we don't want your service to be like. We don't want you to be searching for a signal around your home and having to disconnect and unplug things and restart things. We've tried to make this as simple as possible with this new service that we have, and that's called OMNI. So we like to think of OMNI as sort of an all-in-one internet solution because it includes everything that you need for that quality, reliable internet connection. You get the top of the line Wi-Fi router that's powerful enough to power all of your home Wi-Fi network across your entire home. And again, it's professionally installed for free by our local technicians. So anybody here with us tonight that doesn't have this equipment right now, you are highly encouraged to give our member services team a call, and then we can get you an appointment to upgrade your Wi-Fi equipment to this newest system that we have. And I'm going to go into some details about what this can do for you and why it's better than some of the other equipment that's out there. And then in addition to the equipment itself, every OMNI internet subscription includes fast download and upload speed. So you can do all the things online that you want, you know, from streaming movies and shows, playing online games, downloading files, video calls, all that stuff, right? We want to make sure that you have a smooth experience. You're not wandering around the home trying to find a good connection. So again, as more and more of our lives are connected to this online world, and as scammers continue to evolve their methods and try to target more people, more protection from these online threats is needed. And this new OMNI equipment includes built-in enhanced network security that puts a shield between your connected devices and some of those bad actors and those scammers. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. We're going to get into the OMNI IQ app here in just a minute. I just want to dive into some of these extra features that the service includes. So I mentioned that those advanced security features that we have, there's actually 2 layers of online security protection that we have. One of them here is called Protect IQ, and this is actually built into the new Wi-Fi equipment itself. Now, this is an extra layer of security that's at the home network level, and it protects all devices that are connected to your home network. We see a lot of instances these days of Wi-Fi network intruders. There's different types of systems and even scammers out there that attempt to penetrate a Wi-Fi network to connect to other devices that are on that network, to do a variety of different things with them, steal personal information, record keystrokes, things like that. And of course, we don't want that to happen to our members. So we've included this extra layer of security on all of the new Wi-Fi devices. And when I mean extra layer, that's in addition to umbrella defense. And this is at the internet provider level. So even for folks who might not have the new OMNI equipment, everybody on a DirectLink internet connection is protected with umbrella defense. And what this does is it can prevent you from accidentally visiting a website with known malicious content on it, like fake ads that are running, malware scripts and things like that. So we have 2 layers of protection. We want to make sure that our members are safe online and they can do what they want when they want. So you can rest assured that you and your family and all your devices are secure, and you have that extra layer of security through Protect IQ with the new OMNI equipment. Okay. And then just as a reminder here, most members on fiber saw their speeds increased earlier this year. We sent out letters to all members letting them know about the change and the new OMNI service. And the lowest speed for fiber connections now is 100 megabits per second. That's a really solid speed, and we're working to bring everybody up on fiber to that 100 megabits per second tier so they can have that quality experience. In addition, upload speeds have increased for everybody across the board. Upload speeds are important because we do a lot of things pushing data up to the internet these days. Think about monitoring video doorbell cameras. That footage that the doorbell camera gets pushes up to the internet so you can view it on your phone or other device. FaceTime calls or video calls with friends and family, you're sending your video across the internet to another device. We do a lot of stuff now, more than we used to, where we push data from our devices up to the internet. So it's really important to have those fast upload speeds, and we're really proud to have the fastest upload speeds in town, actually up to 10 times faster than other providers. And that's included with your subscription, no extra fees for any of this stuff. We want to make it as simple and painless as possible. So for those here that don't have the OMNI equipment yet, you can get if you have our older Wi-Fi equipment, you can get that swapped out for free. Or even if you use your own router, you can get our equipment for free installed as well. So give us a call. We would love the opportunity to get you upgraded to this new service that provides those enhanced security protections and fantastic coverage around your entire home. And then for anybody who doesn't have the app today, you can search for OMNI Space IQ in your device's app store, and then look for the DirectLink icon right here. That'll clue you in as to which app is ours. And that's available on the Google Play Store for Android devices and tablets, and on the Apple App Store for iPhones and iPads. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into some demos. So this right here is the homepage of the OMNI IQ app. Now, I'll preface this by saying when you first download the app, you actually have to link the app to your router at home. So this app isn't going to do anything for you unless you have the new OMNI Wi-Fi equipment at home. And on the bottom of the router, there is a little QR code that once you download the app onto your phone and you get it loaded in, it's going to walk you through the setup process. And part of that setup process is scanning that little code on the bottom of the router with your phone's camera. And then that will link your router and any other equipment. If you have like a mesh Wi-Fi network, we'll talk about that in a moment. That'll link all of your home network equipment to the app so that we can manage everything that we're about to talk about. So that's step one. And again, once you get started, it'll walk you through that process. So here in the app, we have a couple of different areas. Really, the main thing you can see in the middle of the screen here is the My Network tab. And this is where I can check out what's going on my network, and I can go to a couple of different shortcuts as well. So you can see right away that I actually have two different networks, two different Wi-Fi networks that I've created. Now, the main one here that says primary right next to it, this is my main Wi-Fi network. And if I click into that, I can do a couple of things. First of all, I can click the edit button up at the top. And this is where I could actually change my Wi-Fi network name, also known as the SSID. And I can change the password as well if I ever need to here from the app. So that's how you would do that. And another nice handy little feature right here, if you ever have guests over, family over, what's one of the first things people ask when they come over, right? What's the Wi-Fi? The app makes it really easy to share your Wi-Fi network. If I click that little button right there, it actually pulls up a QR code. And what others can do is they can grab their phone or other device with the camera and just scan this QR code, and it automatically connects them to the network. They don't even need to type in a password or anything, which is really nice. I can also tap the share via text button there at the bottom, and I could send the network details to somebody via text, or even another sharing option through my phone as well. So it's really easy to share your Wi-Fi network with people. We even had the morning class in person today at our Canby community room, and I just printed this out and put it on the tables in front of people, and it made that really easy for them to connect to our guest network that we had. Which brings me to my next point. I have a guest network right below that. You can see it labeled OMNI IQ Community Class Guest. And this is something that's available to you with the OMNI IQ app. You can create multiple Wi-Fi networks. Now, you might want to do this, say, maybe you have in a rental unit or an extra unit on your home, something like that. You could create another network that's specific just for them and set different settings and priorities and things like that. Maybe you have kids or grandkids in the home and you want them connected to a separate network than your main one so that you can enable different settings and preferences for their network. We'll get into some of those options in a little bit. But you do have the option of creating a new network if you wanted to with this plus symbol up in the top right here. You can add a new network. And then basically you can do a guest network, a work from home network here, which actually prioritizes applications and websites that are commonly used for work from home activities like Zoom and Microsoft Office applications and things like that. So creating a new network is a nice feature here that you can do right from within the app. Okay, a couple other tabs right up here next to network is equipment. For this particular network that we've set up for this class, we only have one Wi-Fi router, and that's really going to be the case for most homes. These new Wi-Fi routers are super powerful, and they're capable of covering very large homes with just one piece of equipment installed through an Ethernet jack in the wall. But in some cases, we actually had an individual who came to the class this morning who has about a 5,000 square foot home, and they needed multiple access points in the home just to make sure that the corner of the house upstairs or even the garage can get a Wi-Fi signal as well. And if you happen to need that extra strength for a larger home or maybe a home with some thicker construction, we provide those additional access points included with your service. So that's something that the techs will take a look at when they come out and install your equipment. They'll kind of take a measure of the home and make sure that any equipment installed can cover all of your home, because we want to make sure that you have the best experience, a great connection everywhere throughout your home. So here in the equipment tab, if I had more than one router, if I had some additional access points, I would see those here as well. So this is where I could manage that. And then right here, if I click into it, I can just view some details about this if I wanted to. The next one here on the right is the Services tab. Now, this one is where it shows Protect IQ, which we talked about a little bit ago. That's that extra layer of security that's built into the router itself. And Experience IQ. We're going to talk about this in a moment, but Experience IQ is those parental controls and those device controls. This is where you can set time limits for accessing your Wi-Fi network. If we have kids in the home, I know that my girlfriend's aunt, they have a similar service, and her son, if he's not doing his homework, he doesn't get access to the Wi-Fi network until he's done with his homework. So she'll go in and she'll manually turn off access for all of his devices. He can't get online and play games or whatever until he's done with his homework. So that's just one scenario that you could use this service for. And then over here on the right, the Usage tab. This is where you could see any devices that are connected to your network. I just have one connected right now that's online currently on this network. But this is where I could see how much data usage those devices have taken up. So I could click on this and I can actually break this down by minutes, hours, and days. And if I wanted to, I could see how much online data usage that particular device has been using. With DirectLink, every single member on our internet has unlimited data, so you don't have to worry about any extra added fees for high usage or slowed speeds for high usage. Some other providers do this, but we don't think that's right, so we don't do that. So you don't have anything to worry about when it comes to high data usage. But if for example, you wanted to see, okay, wow, my son's tablet used 5 terabytes of data last month. Maybe I should put some time limits on that, or check out what's going on with that. That data is here, so you can see that if you want to. Okay, I am going to go back to the kind of main area right here over on networks, and there's some shortcuts right here that I want to talk about too. Number one here is the bandwidth test. You can actually run a speed test to your router to show you how much speed is coming to your router itself. And the nice thing about this is you can do this even when you're away from home and even when you're not even connected to your network. So if I wanted to, I could run a speed test right here. And it will just kind of think for a second, and then it's going to tell me what sorts of internet speeds my router is getting. And this is actually an important tool because this can tell us a couple different things. For example, let's say you pay for gig service. You've got 1,000 megabits per second. We want to make sure that you're getting, as close as possible to the speed that you're paying for. If you subscribe to gig service, but you're only getting 400 megs or so, that's something that we want to know about so that we can fix it and make sure that you're getting the right speeds. It could also tell us that maybe there's an issue with one of the connected devices or with the router itself, a piece of equipment coming into the home, something like that. This is a good tool that sometimes our tech support team will use if folks come in and they're experiencing slow speeds. We'll have them run a test so that we can take a look at it and then go from there. So just going over these numbers real quick, I just ran this speed test. So we talked about download and upload speeds. So we're getting really close. And this one is a 1 gig by 1 gig symmetrical connection, so 1000 megabits up and down. And with a Wi-Fi network, you're always going to have a little bit lower of a number than your subscribed speed, just because it's a wireless signal transmitted throughout the air. There's a couple of different things that cause that to just be a little bit slower. But essentially, we're looking for about 80 to 85% of the total speed up to that subscribed tier. So we're sitting at 930, 940 right here out of 1,000. That's fantastic for a Wi-Fi, a wireless network. That's exactly what we're looking for. And then the number on the right, that's ping. The lower number, the better there. That essentially is telling us how fast our equipment can communicate with an online server, with another website. We're pushing data to and from online servers, from our devices to a website or to a game or an app, something like that. So a lower number means that they're communicating back and forth really, really quickly. This is important for downloading files, playing online games, video chats, so that you can have a smooth picture without any frozen faces and things like that. So the lower number there, the better. Okay, so that's speed tests. You can also look at their network map right here if you want to. I mentioned that if you have multiple pieces of Wi-Fi equipment in the home, say you need extra access points, this is where you could see exactly what's connected to which piece of equipment, how many different things you have connected right here. Just kind of a little organizational sort of flow chart for your different devices on your network. Also right here in the security tab, this is where you can view any of those online threats that the Protect IQ feature has blocked coming into your network. You can view this on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, and you can view this by viruses, intrusions, and threats. So viruses really aren't as common these days. Scammers aren't trying to install viruses on people's computers and devices as much anymore. Really, the main threats these days are, like I mentioned earlier, different bad actors trying to gain access to the network itself so they can try and access the devices that are connected to it. Those are those intrusions. And then the online threats might be, a fake ad somewhere that has some bad code on it. It takes you to a fake website, wants you to enter in, your payment information, stuff like that. So this is where you can monitor that stuff if you want to. Just to maybe show off and say, look how much my router is protecting me. This is where you could check out the security and see those things and know that you're protected. One of the other tabs are here on the far right, the priorities tab. So I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but what we can do is we can actually prioritize traffic and the devices that are on our network. So just as an example, let's say we're maybe on a lower internet speed tier, like we're on a 100 meg connection, but maybe I have 20, 25 devices connected to my network. The average American household these days has around 22 devices connected to their home network. So all of those devices on there are taking up a little portion of the available bandwidth, the speed that's coming into your home. And if there's not enough left, that's where you can start to see those buffering circles, websites loading slowly, not able to send emails or messages over messenger service quite as quickly, things like that. So what the My Priorities tab here does is, in the event that your network ever runs into congestion, you can actually you can have the app tell your network to prioritize data traffic for specific devices if you want to. So just as an example, I have one here. You can see I've set a schedule called work from home. So I set this up as an example network that essentially what I'm telling it is, okay, on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., I want my traffic priority to go to my devices and my applications that are meant for working from home. Again, that would be like what we're using right now. We're on Zoom, Microsoft Office apps like Teams and things like that, services and programs that are used to work from home. In the event that my network becomes congested, it will prioritize those devices I need to work. So you can set this if you want to. I will just say, though, that the new routers and our increased speeds overall really kind of lessen the need for this feature. We want everybody to have those fast and reliable speeds so they don't have to worry about, prioritizing different things and turning off others. We don't want you to have to do that. We want everything to be connected and to work and to have a fast connection. So honestly, if you're experiencing congestion like that, you're welcome to give us a call and ask us if there's anything that we can do to help remedy that. But if you want to, the priorities thing is here for you. Okay, I'm going to go back out. And then the default restrictions right here, you can actually tell any new devices that connect to your network that they have to adhere to these default restrictions that you've put in. And we can do content restrictions. So this just says basically any device that's connected to my network, if I were to turn these on, is restricted from accessing services, applications, websites, that feature this sort of content right here. So all I would have to do is turn one of these off or on, and then that blocks access to that category right here. We can also do this on a per user level too, so that I'm not doing it for every single device. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Any questions about anything we've talked about so far? Please, if you have any, put them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. All right. So the next one here, you can see at the bottom of my screen that there's a couple different icons, and the one with a little group of people right there is aptly named people. So what we can do with the OMNI IQ app is create profiles for the different individuals in our home. So I've got one created here for myself. And what we can do with this is we can assign devices to be a part of this profile. So you can see right here, I actually have a couple devices that are offline right now, but they're still attached to my profile. I've got my iPhone, a laptop, a Kindle, and a Nintendo Switch that are all assigned to my profile right here. And what I could do, you can see that internet access is on right there. If I wanted to, I could just straight up turn it off. That means all of these devices right here, all of these things, that means that none of those can access the internet anymore if I turn them off. I can also, right underneath that, select time limits. And this is sort of that those parental controls or those device controls that I mentioned, where we can set time limits where they can only access the network at a certain time. So just as an example, let's say I want to only let this profile have access to my network from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. I save this right here. And that means that I have that time limit on, and this person right here, this profile, all of these devices that are linked to that profile can only access the Wi-Fi network between those hours. So this is really great if you have kids or grandkids in the home. Maybe you don't want them online after bedtime, something like that. Again, maybe not until their homework is completed. This is a tool that you could use to kind of help manage that. And I'm just going to go ahead and remove that for myself since I'm the administrator. And then the last one down here are those restrictions that we just talked about. So you can set those restrictions on a profile basis. So again, if this was a profile for a child in the home, I could go in and set different content restrictions so that they couldn't access apps or websites related to those content, to that content. So that's how the people tab works right here. Oh, sorry, one more thing. In the top right, I can edit this right here. And this is where I can add in those devices to this profile. You can see the ones that I have linked right here. I can just press the add button. So if I'm adding a new device onto my network, maybe you're just getting started with the OMNI IQ app and you're connecting your devices to your Wi-Fi network, you're going to be able to select those devices and then assign them to different profiles. And I can also change the name. And I believe I can even, oh yeah, I can add a little picture there for it too. And then just click save and you're all done. Okay. Then one more thing right here, you can measure which apps and which services those individual profiles are accessing on a day, week, or month basis. So if we take a look at this, I was doing a demo on this device on this network this morning. So there's a couple of different, it tells me in minutes here We did a little bit of Facebook. We did a little bit of things inside of the iPhone, and then we were on the App Store a little bit. But over time, if maybe this is a kid's profile and you want to see, oh wow, they spent, 10 hours this week on Facebook or something like that, then you could maybe go into those content restrictions and say, actually, we're going to stop you from accessing that sort of thing. So it gives you that data to sort of make those decisions, for yourself. All right. The next tab right here, this little sofa chair, this is the Places tab. And this essentially is a way to organize my Wi-Fi network in the different rooms around my home if I wanted to. You can see I have a couple of example ones right here. The river room is our community room at the Canby campus. And then I just set up an example one as an office right here. But this is where I could add devices, connected devices that are on my network to it. I don't have anything online right now, so I can't add it to it. But this is, again, just sort of a way that I could organize my network as well. So I can even make sure that it's things are where I want them to be, and I can set some of those custom preferences and restrictions as well using the Places tab. I really like doing it from a people standpoint, though. It gives you some more options in being able to customize your content restrictions and add devices to it, turn the internet access off. I personally prefer the people tab a little bit better. I think it's a little bit easier to manage. The next one right here, this little computer monitor, this is what's called Things. So we're at people, places, and things. We're covering all of the nouns with this app. And the things are just your devices that are on your network. So right now I just have one thing connected to this network. We have an Apple TV in the river room. And if I were to click into this, I can also turn off access to individual devices on the network if I want to. And I can also click into this and I can tell it that device is a network priority device. If I go back, there it is, network priority off. But if I wanted to say this was my work laptop, I could turn on that network priority right here to make sure that that device has that priority. And then right here per device, I can also look at that data usage right here if I want to, in minutes, hours, and day view as well. We have that spike right there because I used this device today for an example for the class in person. So that's why that big spike is right there. Again, don't have to worry about how much data usage you have on your account. It's unlimited for all members, no extra fees, no slowed speeds. So that's the Things tab. So when you're getting started with the OMNI IQ app, you're going to be connecting devices to your network and they'll show up right here in this page. And then from here, once I've got devices connected, a lot of times when you connect a new device, it's not going to be automatically named, something even useful that you want. It might just kind of be a jumble of numbers. So I manually renamed this, and then the ones that are in my profile here, I manually renamed these as well, like my iPhone, my laptop. And I would recommend doing that just so you can see which device is which. And it even gives it a little kind of icon to give you an idea of what sort of device that is. So once you're connecting things to your network and they're here in the Things tab, I can go back to the People tab here, tap on the person that I want to, and then in the Edit button, I could add those different things right here. You can see these are devices right here that we actually connected to our network during the morning class today in person. So that's what I mean about some of these jumbled numbers. Those are what's called a MAC address. It's sort of like a serial number for that device. But there are some like Apple iPhone 13 mini, Gerald's work laptop, things like that. So this is where I could select it. See that little check mark popped up, and I'm telling it, okay, I want to add this device to Connor's profile. So it would show up right here. Then again, if I want to turn off internet access or schedule a time for me to be able to access the network, it would affect those devices. So that's how you would add a new device and then link it to a profile using the People feature. Okay. Really just one more area to talk about here. That's the settings area in the bottom right, that little cog icon. There's a couple things we can do here. Number one, the top one is the account and admins area. And one of the nice things about the OMNI IQ app is you can actually have two administrators for your home network, for your OMNI service here. And this is kind of nice because I know I'm sort of tech support for my parents sometimes. If they wanted to, for an example, they could make me a secondary admin for their account. So I could kind of manage some of these things that we've been talking about for them, even remotely if I needed to. I could run a speed test for them and say, oh, yeah, I see that, you're not getting the sorts of speeds that you should be getting. Let's contact the provider and get that fixed. So you can have a primary admin, and then you can have a secondary admin that both have control over the settings that we've talked about here. You can also set an app passcode here. When you first get started with the app and you link it to your OMNI Wi-Fi router, it's going to prompt you to create a password for your account. Different from your Wi-Fi password, a different login. But I will say, I've had this app on my phone for 6 to 8 months or so now, and it's never logged me out once. It's never made me log in again. So it's not every time you open the app, it's not like it's going to be asking you to enter your password every single time. That would be really annoying. I realize that. But if you wanted to, you could sort of create a passcode right here, just as kind of like a backup in case it does prompt you to log in one day. Sometimes these apps and software are programmed to log people out after a certain amount of time just for security reasons. And you could set a PIN if you wanted to, just so you kind of have that backup password in a way. You can set language right here if you want to, different language. And the alerts tab is another one to talk about. You can actually receive push notifications to your phone or to the device that the OMNI IQ app is installed on. And I'm going to go ahead and just turn these on. So when I clicked turn on right there, it opened up the settings of my iPhone because I have to enable notifications on my iPhone first. And then I can go back to the OMNI IQ app. And now you can see the different notifications that are available for me to receive. So just as an example, I have one on right here that this tells me anytime a new device joins my home Wi-Fi network, I'm going to get a push notification to my phone about that. This could be really useful. Maybe you see a random device join your network and you want to investigate and you want to boot it off, that sort of thing. So you can control what sorts of alerts you want to receive to your device. You can even turn them all off if you want to and say, no, thanks, I don't need any alerts. That's up to you to decide as well. And then we also right here in the contact support area, we've got some links to contact us. If you need any help with any of this stuff or your connection, we're available to help you. And those resources are listed right there. And that's really it. That's everything with the app. We talked about what you can do from the My Network tab right here. I can create a new one, run a bandwidth test, check out what's going on with each of my networks. I can share my network with a text or a QR code. We talked about the People tab where I can assign devices to individual profiles and then set content or time restrictions. We talked about organizing our network and our connected devices through places. We talked about how devices will appear in the Things tab and how this is where I can see all devices that I have connected, assign them to profiles, turn them off, turn them on, that sort of thing. And then we talked about the settings. And that's really all there is to it. So this is a really handy tool that's included with your service. Once you have that new Wi-Fi equipment, you can get it hooked up to your router and then start controlling your network at home as well. All right. Well, I think that does it for the class tonight. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys give the app a try and check it out and start controlling your network. Again, for anybody who doesn't have the new OMNI equipment, it's included with your service. We'll come out and install it for free as well. And then you'll have all these advanced features that we talked about tonight. So please give us a call and we'll come out and we'll get you all set up. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, again. Have a great rest of the evening. Good night.